Hi, my name is Han-Duck Chung, and I'm the Librarian for Management and Entrepreneurship at NC State. You can call me Han-Duck. My job at the library is basically to work with people who are researching business topics and help them make the most of our collections. So as part of my job, I create guides, help select materials for the library collection, teach workshops, and make presentations like these. This presentation provides an overview of the variety of business information sources that are available at the library and online, including industry reports, company profiles, and some sources for demographic and lifestyle trends. The library buys, collects, and provides access to a lot of business information, and one of them is industry information. The government is a major producer of industry statistics and reports, and here's an example: the Statistical Abstract of the United States, which is published annually online. Many government publications are organized using industry classification systems like the SIC or NAICS codes. This excerpt from the NAICS code classification gives you a sense of what the system looks like and how it is structured. There are numbers that indicate different types of industries, and the length of the number indicates how specific or narrow the industry may be. So why talk about these codes? Well, these codes are useful when you're trying to navigate the wealth of statistics produced by the government, but also many databases specializing in business information have adopted these codes to help organize their own publications or reports. For example, the IBIS World Database provides market reports for all NAICS codes at the 5-digit level, which is pretty specific. It is often difficult to find information on any industry more specific than this without paying for those expensive market research reports advertised online, but more on that later. Here is an inside look at what each of these IBIS World reports looks like, and if you look at the table of contents, you can get a sense of the scope of each report, from an overview of a particular industry to key statistics for that sector. Trade associations or research institutes also are a good source of industry statistics or surveys of their members. For instance, the Beer Institute publishes the Brewer's Almanac in Excel form every year. While this publication may be freely available online, many publications are often restricted to industry members or sold at cost. Libraries and individuals can go out and try to purchase individual publications, and we do in some cases, but we tend to buy stuff in bulk through aggregators that provide a database full of all sorts of information in various forms. Some databases aggregate just the useful bits from several trade or industry publications, like the Market Share Reporter. Pictured here is the online version of the Market Share Reporter. Resources like these are available so that you don't have to look through several individual publications yourself in order to find one table or business ranking. If you can't find information at the industry level, you may need to turn to researching similar companies that might help define the appropriate industry that you're interested in. Freely available information is generally limited to publicly traded companies that must file financial statements with the Securities and Exchange Commission, the SEC. The public source of this information is the EDGAR database, pictured here. While it is free to use, the search and functionality is somewhat limited. That's why many proprietary business databases draw from this source, but will build additional search options or related or other types of value-added content. Some of these proprietary business databases are available through the library. A company database like Thomson ONE, pictured here, provides information beyond publicly traded U.S. companies and covers larger private companies and those from around the world. They also allow you to work with financial data in flexible ways to download ratios into Excel spreadsheets. Databases also might aggregate various types of information related to companies in one place. For instance, the LexisNexis academic database pictured here provides not only company financials, but also industry news that might mention the company in a substantial way, as well as intellectual property filings with the United States Patent Office, or legal filings if they have been involved in litigation. Standard & Poor's Net Advantage is a database specializing in financial markets and investing, and so presents company information relating to stocks and mutual funds. The last category of business information I'll talk about is marketing. Topics in marketing might include advertising, information about consumers, including demographic and social trends. A good public source of demographic information is the U.S. Census Bureau. most, if not all, business information sources will draw on some aspect of census data. American Fact Finder, pictured here, is the official gateway for accessing this data. You can look up particular geographies and compare them to the national average. State agencies will also provide a wealth of demographic and other types of data, so if your interest is related to local business, you might want to check the relevant state data agency for the range of information that they might provide. Some proprietary databases you can access through the library, like SimplyMap pictured here, will also allow you to plot or map demographic data. This can be very useful for analyzing data in a visual way or creating a chart to add to a report. In addition to demographic data, SimplyMap also contains business and market data for creating fairly detailed maps and reports. Here's an example showing similar types of businesses in the North Carolina coastal region and where they're located. This example shows the location and concentrations of particular market segments at the county level. If you need actual numbers to work with, you can also make use of the Reports tab, which is seen here. But sometimes data is not enough, and that's where articles on consumer research come in. One database that specializes in providing consumer market research is the Mintel database. The reports in this database combine primary and secondary research to provide information on consumer products and trending lifestyles. This means that the authors of the report might look at other published research, but also go out and survey actual people to find out what they think and how they feel about various types of products and services. Now let's talk about market research. Information about the market size and trends for any given product or industry is not always straightforward, especially if you're trying to introduce a new kind of technology or innovative product or service. And markets can be defined in any number of ways, from a range of companies to various geodemographic areas. So if you're looking for things like market share or market size, you need to think critically and communicate clearly about how you're defining your market and what kinds of data you might be able to obtain. There are a lot of companies now providing market reports, and you may have already come across some that look like this. While academic libraries may subscribe to one or two major providers, often the most current reports are not available to colleges and universities, or if they are available, the costs, which are targeted for large corporations, is too prohibitive for most libraries. For instance, our library has a subscription to IBISWorld, so you shouldn't need to go through a vendor like MarketResearch.com. On the other hand, the library's collections may not include some of the really specialized custom reports that you may come across. Here's an example of something that our library does not have access to. Part of the reason why these market research reports are so expensive is that they do the work of compiling information from a lot of different sources, and then analyze them and report a summary of the most important points. So if you don't have access to market research reports because they're too expensive, the next best thing you can do is to go to some of these sources yourself and do the legwork of compiling this information using the resources that are available to you, including those at the library and on the web. If you want to take a closer look at these and related sources of business information, visit the library website at www.lib.ncsu.edu/business. There you'll find links to more detailed tutorials, guides, and handouts. If you're having a hard time finding information on your particular topic or would like a second look to recommend any sources that you might have missed, just get in touch with me and ask for a consultation. Or if you're a new student to NC State, drop by the Learning Commons desk at the DHL library and say hello, or ask for a quick orientation to the physical and online library over some coffee.